1991, baby. Woo! I'm ready for the Rumble. Why are you dressed like Zach Morris and a Trapper Keeper had a baby? Because today we're talking Royal Rumble 1991. I'm locked in. I studied the tape. I got my Warrior face paint. And I just faxed Ted DiBiase, baby. I'm in the zone! You faxed DiBiase? Dude, it's the 90s. That's how men communicate, bro. Faxes and steel chairs. You weren't even alive in 1991. And yet, I remember it in my soul. I feel the tassels. I hear Gorilla Monsoon yelling. I see Sergeant Slaughter committing televised war crimes. You see a man dressed like an army surplus store betrayed democracy. Calm down. This is the Royal Rumble where Hogan saved America. And Randy Savage pulled the most elaborate ghost move in wrestling history and not even showing up. Oh God, you're insane. Insane like the Gulf War time storyline that led to this match? Okay, like, before this becomes a History Channel reenactment filmed in your mom's basement, let's actually talk about Royal Rumble 91 and why it's low-key one of the wildest pay-per-views of all time. Look, let me know when you get to the part where Hogan flexes and solves foreign policy. And welcome to OOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOoooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooooohohohohohohohohohohohohohohohohohoho back into reality. And today, we're going way back to the year of Sonic the Hedgehog, Terminator 2, and American Gladiators. Yeah, we're talking Royal Rumble 1991. Let's get into it. But before we do, I wanted to take a moment and thank everyone who's had the opportunity to like and subscribe to my videos, as well as everyone who's taken the time to actually post a comment to them. It truly means a lot to me. So please, if you have the chance today, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, so you never miss an episode of 1-2-ooh. If you love wrestling, I know you're going to love this content. Now let's get into it. Now the Royal Rumble in 1991 wasn't just another wrestling show. This thing aired right in the middle of the Gulf War. Like, literally 4 days after Operation Desert Storm began. And the WWE leaned hard into geopolitical vibes on this one. Sergeant Slaughter, once the all-American G.I. Joe hero, had turned heel and aligned himself with the Iraqi sympathizers. That's right. WWE really said, let's make one of the most hated men in America our top heel champ. And you know what? It worked. Because people were hot. Now, transparently, like, this card wasn't deep, but it was wild. You had the Rockers versus the Orient Express. It was an absolute banger of an opener. And Shawn Michaels showed off why he became Shawn Michaels in this match. You could see the flares, those moments of greatness from him where you're like, this dude's going to be a star. Big Boss Man versus the Barbarian. Kind of a filler, but add the two action figures slamming into each other kind of vibe. So it was all right. I was here for it. Then you have Sergeant Slaughter versus the Ultimate Warrior for the WWF Championship. This match was chaos. You have Sherry interfering. Randy Savage hits Warrior with a scepter, and boom! Slaughter steals the title. That's right. The Iraqi sympathizer is now your champion during an actual war. Then you had the Royal Rumble match. 30 men, classic format. But this was the Rumble that solidified Hulk Hogan as the guy. Again, for the second year in a row, Earthquake tried, Tugboat betrayed him, but Hogan stood tall, because of course he did. It's Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania, brother. This show had some unforgettable moments in wrestling history. Hogan wins the Rumble for the second straight year. There's still no prize for winning the Rumble at this time, but this really establishes Hulk as the guy. It was that moment of him winning it two years in a row, and the fans just coming off the big loss of Slaughter taking the belt. You could have gotten a bigger pop with anyone else. This was an unbelievable moment. Randy Savage doesn't even show up to the Rumble after screwing Warrior earlier in the night. Coward move or complete genius booking? The Dead Man had his Royal Rumble debut here. 1991, The Undertaker is in the Rumble. Chills in the air, but ultimately, my man got eliminated by Animal and Hawk. And for this show too, the commentary. You have Gorilla Monsoon and Rowdy Piper completely unhinged. Piper was screaming like he was watching a demolition derby on fire. So this show all around is historic for multiple reasons, and none bigger than setting up Hulk Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania 7, a feud built around patriotism and real-life war drama. This show also solidified the Royal Rumble as a key storyteller launcher. Even before the winner gets a title shot rule came in. This show also laid the groundwork for Savage versus Warrior at Mania, which would become one of the best matches ever. And of course, it was a sign of the times. Wrestling didn't just echo pop culture, it slammed it through a table. So in watching the show from start to finish, I thought there was a lot of unbelievable moments and a lot of really positive things that came out of this. And sure, there's filler on this card, and it's definitely not the perfect card or the best Rumble I have ever seen, but transparently with what it set up and what it meant to wrestling at that time, this for me is a 4 out of 5 all day. Hogan coming out and winning the Rumble, like this moment was unbelievable. But even some of the other stuff, when you watch The Undertaker getting in there and the dominance he had at that time, it was such a great match. I enjoyed the Rumble from start to finish, and the Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter's low-key, an incredible match on this card. Pulling the trigger and being willing to put the belt on an Iraqi sympathizer, not to mention making Sergeant Slaughter an Iraqi sympathizer, it's why wrestling is great. At this time, they were willing to go places that I don't think anyone else was. So I had a ton of fun watching Royal Rumble 1991. I love going back to this time in wrestling. Kayfabe was alive and well, and you see it in the in-ring work. Everyone is trying to make everything look as real as possible. And not to mention everyone coming out with that steroid look, all these built-up dudes beefed up and attacking, and these genuinely out of this world character of The Undertaker in the mix there. This show was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed watching it. I recommend it. If you haven't checked it out, check out the Royal Rumble 1991. I think you're going to enjoy this one. And getting to see Hulk Hogan in his prime, getting to see when he became the guy, and see that pop from the crowd, there's not really anything like it. So as usual, hit that bell icon, hit that subscribe so you never miss an episode of 1, 2, OOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOO